is Tuesday, February 9. Welcome to CGN News. The struggle over Haiti's presidency intensified Monday as opposition politicians named their own leader of the country in an effort to drive out President Jovenel Moïse, whose term they say has expired. The political crisis flared up Sunday when officials claimed they had foiled an attempt to murder the president and overthrow the government. Moïse has been governing for the past year and says he is president until February 7, 2022, an interpretation of the Constitution rejected by the opposition, which led to protests asserting his term ended on Sunday. In a video statement sent to AFP, Judge Joseph Messine Jean-Louis, 72, said he would serve his country as interim president for the transition. The opposition has also attacked the claim Moïse was targeted by a coup attempt, saying he was no longer legally the president. Officials in Barbados put the brakes on 4 illegal parties all held on Sunday amid a 2-week lockdown that has been imposed to limit the spread of COVID-19. Coordinator of the COVID Communications Unit, Ambassador Elizabeth Thompson, said at a press conference that the parties were in breach of the emergency management curfew. She reminded Bajans that illegal mass gatherings could result in up to 1 year in prison or a fine of up to 50,000 Bajan dollars or 25,000 US dollars. During the February 3 to 17 period of, quote, national pause, the directive states that no person shall host or attend a party. Thompson stressed the seriousness of the COVID-19 situation and lamented that those people who were breaching the rules were putting everyone else's life in danger. As of today, 1,732 people tested positive for the virus. With Barbados expecting to receive 100,000 doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine this week, public health nurses are ready to undertake the largest mass vaccination program in the island's history. Public health nurse Rosanette Cook disclosed Sunday at a press conference that preparations ahead of the rollout of the vaccination campaign commenced last Friday to examine all eventualities, including allergic reactions in some patients after receiving the vaccine. After the vaccine is administered, immunized individuals will be monitored for 15 minutes before being discharged. Coordinator of the campaign, Dr. Elizabeth Ferdinand, said the vaccine would not be administered to anyone under the age of 18, people who are allergic to the vaccine's components, or people who have severe allergies, including those who use an EpiPen. Guyana's Minister of Home Affairs, Robeson Ben, has sought to dispel the fears of residents in South Rupununi who were considering abandoning their villages in the wake of the January 31 earthquake. Ben visited the villages over the weekend, accompanied by fellow geologist Leandro Pires, Director General of the Civil Defense Commission, Lieutenant Colonel Kester Craig, and a CDC team. Craig reported that as a result of the quake, 2 houses were damaged, while there were several cracks in houses and government facilities. The CDC team also observed cracks in the earth and 3 areas of sizable depressions in Katunarib. However, Ben sought to assure the residents that earthquakes in that area were rare and there was no reason for people to leave. Colombia will temporarily normalize the status of almost 1 million undocumented Venezuelan migrants, President Ivan Duque said on Monday during a visit by the UN Refugee Agency. Some 56%, around 950,000 of the 1.7 million Venezuelans to have arrived in Colombia fleeing economic and political crisis in their homeland, are undocumented. The migrants will benefit from a 10-year protection, giving them time to apply for a residence visa if they wish to stay in the country, the AFP reports. According to the UN, 34% of the 5.4 million Venezuelans who have fled the country since 2015 are in Colombia, which has no diplomatic relations with its neighbor. The Biden administration turned down a meeting request with El Salvador's president on an unannounced trip to Washington last week, 3 people with knowledge of the decision told AP on Monday. The trip by Nayib Bukele, which has not been previously reported, came after a senior White House official warned in an interview with a Salvadorian news outlet, highly critical of Bukele, that the Biden administration expected to have, quote, differences with him. Bukele was quick to embrace former President Donald Trump's hardline immigration policies, which won him a great deal of U.S. support for his tough governing style in El Salvador, where he is popular. But like other world leaders befriended by Trump, he faces an uphill climb pivoting to the Biden administration, which has signaled that its relationship with El Salvador is under review. Facebook on Monday said it is ramping up efforts to stem the spread of misinformation about COVID-19 vaccines. The move includes banning groups which repeatedly spread misinformation and debunked claims about the virus and vaccines. The leading social network has been highlighting health advice from reliable agencies and removing COVID-19 misinformation for months, and on Monday expanded that initiative. The list of debunked claims not welcomed at Facebook was updated with the help of the World Health Organization. At Facebook-owned Instagram, accounts of people discouraging COVID-19 vaccinations will be harder to find using automated search tools, according to the social network. Donald Trump committed, quote, the most grievous constitutional crime, end quote, of any U.S. president when he incited supporters to storm the Capitol last month, Democratic prosecutors said Monday on the eve of his Senate impeachment trial. Trump's lawyers pushed for a dismissal in a document released hours earlier, saying the Senate, quote, lacks jurisdiction, end quote, to try Trump, who left office on January 20 because he's no longer a sitting president. The Democratic managers directly rejected the argument and said there is, quote, overwhelming evidence of impeachable high crimes and misdemeanors. The Supreme Court is telling California that it can't bar indoor church services because of the coronavirus pandemic, but it can keep for now a ban on singing and chanting indoors. The High Court issued orders late Friday in two cases where churches had sued over coronavirus-related restrictions in the state. The justices said the state can cap indoor services at 25% of a building's capacity. They also declined to stop California from enforcing a ban put in place last summer on indoor singing and chanting. California had put the restrictions in place because the virus is more easily transmitted indoors and singing releases tiny droplets that can carry the disease. And finally, Germany, Sweden, and Poland on Monday each threw out a Russian diplomat in retaliation for Moscow's expulsion last week of their diplomats for allegedly taking part in protests in support of Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny. The three EU countries announced the tit-for-tat moves in coordinated statements, drawing an angry response from Russia, which accused them of meddling in its internal affairs. The diplomatic spat comes at a time of heightened tensions between the European Union and Russia, exacerbated by the arrest and jailing of leading opposition figure Navalny. Russia humiliated the European Union on Friday by announcing the expulsion during a rare meeting in Moscow between EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. European governments strongly condemned the shock expulsions, with Berlin warning that it would respond in kind. That's it for CGN News. I'm Scott Wilson. Thanks for watching.